Welcome to Brainstorm, where we give you a glimpse into the world of science for this Monday, January 30th, 2012. Our top story is from the world of technology. Scientists in Singapore and the UK have developed a new way to generate terahertz waves. Also known as T-rays, it's a high wavelength form of infrared radiation used in full-body security scanners at airports. Now, current devices that use T-rays are generally big, expensive, and require a lot of power for a rather low output. However, the scientists found a way to produce strong T-ray beams with less power, which could eventually lead to portable scanning devices like tricorders. They produced these T-rays by shining light onto two electrodes separated by a nanoscale gap. The interaction between the light and electricity generated the rays, with the electrodes amplifying them like nanoantennas. The scientists say scanning technology based on this could detect tumors, scan for specific molecules, and wirelessly connect to centralized computers for further analysis. Let's end this segment a bit differently with a question. Does Star Trek and other science fiction predict future technologies, or does it inspire people to do what was thought impossible? We now turn to the world of medicine. Scripps Research Institute scientists have discovered a compound that interferes with defective RNA. Many diseases, like Huntington's, are caused by genetic mutations that get transcribed into defective RNA and then translated into proteins that interfere with normal functioning. Many neurological and neuromuscular conditions are associated with a genetic defect called an expanded triplet repeat. So, the researchers used a small molecule known to have some effect on RNAs with that defect. Disrupting this RNA is important because they actually play a major role in certain conditions, using up critical proteins involved with RNA processing. They've already begun testing the components they discovered with patient-derived cell cultures. They prevent the defective RNA from binding with proteins. With the wide range of conditions that involve this kind of mechanism, it's very promising to have a method of identifying new drug targets. Finally, we end with an update from the field of biotechnology. Researchers in California have found a way to turn seaweed into biofuels. As we've discussed on Brainstorm before, biofuels are looking like a very promising alternative to gasoline as the technology advances and becomes more practical. The main problem is that current production of biofuels, like ethanol, generally use up food crops like corn. This might not be an immediate concern in the US because there's a shit ton of corn, but with the world's growing population, we need a lot of food and fuel. This is where seaweed comes in, having not been used until now because of the sugar alginate, which couldn't be efficiently processed. So, the researchers simply studied marine microbes that can process alginate and genetically engineered E. coli to perform a similar process. Obviously, it'll be some time before this is shown to be practical on a large scale, but experimental seaweed farms are already started in Chile. Still, it has great potential to produce ethanol, other biofuels, and similar products. And we'll end with some encouraging words from the article. Cultivating seaweed along 3% of the world's coastlines, where kelp already grows, could produce 60 billion gallons of ethanol. Well, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider subscribing and be sure to check the links in the video description.